Is it on? All right, short video on the EWPI indicator. This top blinking LED right now fires every time the UART fires from the USB to serial converter. So every time a byte comes from the C# program on the main computer over here. Here I have Falcon BMS running. It fires a byte, and then you can zoom back in. Every time it fires a byte, this LED goes off. The red LED is for a missile launch indication. Anytime there's a missile launch indication in the main program, in your Falcon program, this will start flashing as well. The next green one LED here is primary mode LED. So when I press the primary mode button, it will light up, and then it will also compare the RWR objects, the number there are. If there's 5 or more, then it will also blink as well. And then the last one is for your unknown switch. The LED just comes on or off if you press the unknown switch. None of these buttons, I plan on implementing a keyboard emulator maybe later on, but none of these buttons send input into the program. Like I said, they just function on their own, except for the primary mode, which will compare whether the button is turned on. Then it'll read that RWR object count and start flashing when both conditions are met. And then this button up here is for changing your types. It's basically your mode button on the EWPI, and it'll change the type of radar transmissions you have receiving, like SAM 1 and 2. Transmitting these modes I'm not sure of. I probably need more feedback on these, but I've copied some from the brochure and some from some friends' information. But anyways, these buttons, this button, the mode is the mode button. I'll switch through them. And then over here is the chaff flare count. I know you can't read any of this stuff too well in the video. It gets washed out, but they're very clear in real life. And I have the chaff flare count over here, and there's a diamond that will flash in the center every time chaff or flare deployed. And then when you're out, it'll display out, depending on which goes out first, the chaff or the flare. All right, so now I'm gonna fire up. I've got a program set that's going to give a lot of missile launch indications, and the primary mode should start flashing as well. I just have a lot of crap going on here. Try and test these out. There, I'm launching it now. There, the altitude. I'm going to pause it. The chaff and flare count just came up accurately. I'm going to go change my chaff flare to manual mode, so I just do it manually. You can see the launch indicator, the missile launch indicator is already flashing, and on the computer screen it'll be flashing as well. So you can see it flashing there. It's also flashing here. Remember, this is just bytes coming over every half second. I've got primary mode on. Let me turn on the computers, or I mean on the game as well. Okay, primary mode is set. Turn unknown off. Change the modes here for the radar. And let me start deploying chaff. You can see the diamond, maybe you can see the diamond flashing, and the chaff and flare counting down. I'm continuing to deploy chaff and flare. Diamond's going off. Alright, now we've got out on one of them. And also you see the primary mode LED is flashing. This isn't exactly in sync with the game. It seems if I set equal to 5, it flashes a little more often than in the game, and if I set it to greater than 5, it didn't seem to flash at all, so I'm not sure what's going on there. And that missile launch indication again is on the screen as well. Continue deploying what I've got left of I guess it's chaff. I'll run the chaff down here before I crash. Maybe. Count down the chaff. Okay, now we're out on both. And that's basically basic operations at EWPI.